The term marketing research is comprised of two words basically. The first one is marketing, the other one is research. The term marketing is basically derived from the word market, that means a geographical place or area, where the buyer and seller came together and entered into transaction. There must be a transaction. I am stating you one thing, there must be transaction between two persons. The one must be buyer and the other one must be seller. In that particular process, the one must transfer the ownership of goods to the other person so that a transaction can take place. Exchange is a different process, transaction is a different process. Okay, there must be exchange of goods, and in exchange of good there must be something given in return for that. This earlier it was barter system, but right now you pay money to purchase a good. There must be transaction between two person, that is buyer and seller, to which involves basically transfer of ownership of goods and services. So a transaction must take place. A marketing is not only about selling, because in order to sell the product we must know the needs, the basic requirement of consumer. See, marketing is basically concerned with what the consumer wants. Marketing is basically marketing is based on this principle: customer is the king or consumer is the king. You have to check the basic needs and wants of the consumer, so that according to that particular needs and wants you can make your product. The first step that involves in marketing, that includes you have to check the needs and wants of the consumer. What a consumer need or want, you have to particularly produce that product, otherwise you will not be survive in the market. What does need mean? Need is basically basic requirement. Basic requirement, for example, I am stating an example here. Food. A food is a basic requirement that I need to eat, need to survive. A food is a basic requirement. And now what does want? Want is basically concerned with which I specifically want. I want food to survive. That is my need, but I want to eat something else. I want to eat bread butter. That is my want. These two are different. For survival you must have your need and want. Okay, you must have these these two things in your particular agenda. If you want to actually settle a company, you have to firstly think what a consumer needs, what a consumer wants. And the third one is desire in here. Ability to pay. When I am able to pay particular amount so that I can purchase a bread butter for me, or I can purchase a Mercedes car for me, but I desire that I have to pay, or I must have ability to particular pay that product. So it is basically believed that there are two principles that follow. The first one is caveat emptor, the other one is caveat vendor. Earlier, they believe in the principle of caveat vendor. Caveat vendor is basically let the seller caveat emptor. For earlier, they believe in caveat emptor. Let the buyer beware. Let the buyer beware. You produce a thing. It was a traditional concept of a marketing. You produce a particular thing, and what the buyer want, you never consider that thing. What a company want, you consider that particular thing. A so and that particular time it is basically concerned with let the buyer be aware. Whatever we are purchasing, whatever we are producing, that has to be purchased by the buyer. But now they have the principle let the seller beware. Whatever you are actually selling, it has to be up to the mark. You have to produce what the consumer wants and needs. Let the seller be aware. I'm again repeating it. Basically, in today's scenario, the most important principle that is followed is let the caveat, let the seller be aware. Let the seller be aware. This is the principle followed in the caveat vendor. It has concern with what the consumer wants, what consumer needs. So it basically follow the principle of customer is king. Customer is king. So we can only state this thing. We have to see what a consumer want, what a consumer need, and the company has to see. Now see, successful marketing builds demand for products and services, which in turn creates job. Again, the first point is here explain. Let the customer let the customer tell you what it wants, what he wants. So you have to create the demand for the products and services so that you can generate more job for in the market also. By contributing to the bottom line, successful marketing also allows firms to more fully engage in socially responsible activity. See, you are a company nowadays have to consider the activities related with the stakeholders. Stakeholders are those who have actually material interest in the company. So in one of the particular sale stakeholder item, you can see that, let me write it also. Stakeholder. Stakeholders are those who have material interest in the company, who have material interest in the company. For example, students, creditor, debtor, manager, employees, shareholders. Shareholders are different and stakeholders are different. Shareholders, government. You pay taxes to government. That's why government is interested in your company. The last one is environment. So you are social responsible towards environment. You should not pollute your environment. These are the stakeholders. So you have to consider what a socially responsible company can do. By contributing to the bottom line, successful marketing also allows firms to more fully engage in social responsible activities. Marketers must decide what features to design into new product or services, what price to set. You have to see what a consumer wants. You have to design a new product or services. For example, let me tell you an example here of Lux soap or Palmolive soap. They have different varieties of soaps, different designing of soaps, because they have actually produced the soaps as per the requirement of the consumers. What prices they have to set, but where to sell the products, where they want to sell the products or the services, how much to spend on advertising, on sales, on internet, on mobile marketing. So marketing is a very wider term. You have to first step is you have to see what product do you want to produce or services, what price you have to set. It should not be more, it should not be less. Where do you want to sell it? You have to decide a geographical area here. How much you want to spend on advertising, how much you want to spend on your sales, that is basically reduce transportation, how much you want to spend on your internet facility so that you can actually promote your product here, and how much do you want to go for the other aspects also. So these decisions must be based on your environment, that is consumers, competition, technology, and economic forces. See, there are two types of flows in the company. One is internal, that you can be changed and you can be adaptable. And what is the economic force want? Like this COVID era, it has changed many and many companies' perspective also. So you have to indulge yourself as per the and economic outside economic forces want. So you have to see your consumers what they want, competition what they are providing, and what you can best provide to your consumer. technology, you have to match up to the latest technology and the outside economic forces like legal entities or any lawful that you can't breach any law. So it is considered with the so it is actually related with the consumers, competition, technology, economic forces that changes rapidly, and the consequences of marketer words and action can quickly multiply. The first term is we have actually considered is marketing and research. Marketing is basically what, where do you involve transactions. Now the second word consists of research. Research is basically where you actively participate what your consumer wants. Like if I want to produce a product, I actually have to go to detailed research of that particular product, like in which area it wants, what is the seasonal variation in that particular area. Like I want to produce fans, the fans will be sold over there where will be a summer. If there will be winter, I can't sold my fans over there. So I have to see where the summer is there. I want to see different designing of the fans. I have to see the consumer needs and wants on the fans. So that is particular to the research. In today's scenario, R&D is the main component factor in any industry or in any company. The word research is derived from the French language, and its literal meaning is to investigate thoroughly. You have to go with the in-depth analysis for your product. You have to see why your product must be famous, why your product must be gain popularity among consumers. See, you all of you have different mobile phones. Some have Apple, some have Samsung, some have Oppo, and this later MI phone came late and have a very wide market now. So you have to see what the consumer wants. Research can be classified into broad categories. That is, first one is basic research, and the second one is applied research. Basic research is very fundamental. It is a pure kind of research. You want to see the basic problem. Where is the basic problem? You want to actually see the basic nature which is not carried out in response to the problem. It is more educative. You can have to see the basic fundamentals. You have to explain the knowledge based to your individual or companies, and it doesn't have any commercial potential. Basic research is basically that is pure in nature. The basic problem you have to see, for example, an investigation looking at whether stress level influence how often students engage in academic cheating. I want to check whether a students actually do cheating or not in their academic progress. This is a basic research. A student looking at how caffeine consumption impacts the brain. If I want to see a study how caffeine basically impacted the brain, I study assessing whether men or women are more likely to be diagnosed with depression. These are the basic research. Applied research. Applied research, on the other hand, is carried out to seek alternate solution for the problem at hand. Basically, you are facing a problem. You can't apply such a broad, wider research, that is basic research on that problem. You have to particularly consider what is the problem in your hand, and you have to find a different solution for that problem. Applied research is done to solve specific practical questions. Its primary aim is that which is not to gain knowledge. You don't want to gain knowledge. In basic research, you want to gain knowledge. But right now, you want to see a solution. Its primary aim is to see the solution that the problem you have in your hand right now. It specifies possible outcomes of each of the alternatives and its commercial implications. For example, investigating if the background music in the work environment can contribute to greater productivity, investigating which treatment approach is the most effective for the reduced anxiety, researching which strategy is best to motivate workers. These are the example of the applied research. Your workers are not feeling motivating, so you have to look for the strategies so that they can work more. Applied research further divided into problem solving research and the problem oriented research. The problem solving research, where do you have a problem in your hand and you want to see it? For example, how do we improve the communication skills of our employees? This is your problem solving research. And problem oriented related research is basically the research which is oriented towards a crucial problem facing the organization. It is undertaken inside the company or by the external consultant on his behalf. This research is purely conceptual in nature. It is basically belong to new innovative techniques of solving problems. For example, how to improve the production yield from machine X using modern techniques. There came a new techniques here, and you want to indulge that particular techniques in your field, in your machine, in your production departments. It is an example of that. So these two are different. The first one is basic research. That is considered with the pure and the fundamental research. It is more educative. The second one is applied research, which basically seek the attention of the problem in hand. These are also again further bifurcated in two parts. The first one is problem solving research. The second one is problem oriented research. In this particular, you have a problem and you want to particularly solve it. It is that research. And in this particular, that you actually want to see what a new innovation, what a new technique came. Problem oriented research. You actually, this is your long term research, the problem oriented research. The next one is, now let's say meaning of marketing research. We have already seen that marketing research is comprised of two different areas. That is, one is marketing and the other one is research. Now let's see what is marketing research. Marketing research, also called consumer research, that it is a form of a business research. The field of a marketing research as statistical science was pioneered by Arthur Nielsen with the founding of AAC Nielsen Company in 1923. In 1923, the researcher named Arthur Nielsen has actually found out this term, marketing research. Marketing research is a systematic and objective study of problems pertaining to the marketing of goods and services. I have already stated you this thing, that when you actually consider what your consumer wants, you have to go to very in-depth analysis of that. So it is basically a systematic and objective study of a problems that is basically concerned with your sale and purchase of your goods and services. It is applicable to any area of marketing. Research is only tool for the organization that has to be keep in contact with its external operating environment. What are the customer needs and how they are changing? How to meet these changing needs? What do the consumer thinks about the existing product or services? What more they are looking at? So now let's see an example. Let's go to the era of 19s. There we have a very small types of fridge. Now we have double door refrigerator, single door refrigerator. There are many technology that have introduced for the advancement purpose also. In 19s, it was only TV. Now it is LED, LCD, the projector, but the projector that shows your screen. So it is basically with the technology you have to change. So what the consumer needs and how they are changing, you have to see it. What a consumer want. Early it was mobile that was concerned with the normal mobile, Nokia 1100, and it's like Samsung. Now you have touch screen mobile. So your needs are changing. Why do you need it now? You have to attend your online classes also to hear. So the needs are changes right now. So it is one of the core example of the marketing research. You have to seek the what consumer wants, why their needs are changing, how their needs are changing. What are the competitors doing to retain consumer in this environment? Now the needs are changing. There are actually introduction of new technology. So what are competitors doing? We have to also see that. Which strategies they are following, we have to see that. Are their strategies actually succeeding on influencing your strategy? What should you do more competitive? You have to see in the marketing research. How are the macro and the micro environmental factors influencing your company, and how will you react to this environment? This macro is concerned with the whole and the big environment, and the micro is concerned with only your company environment. So you have to see both environments and you have to adapt according to that environment. Reading the results of the critical opinion poll in the media is example of a marketing research. A report on the opportunity for new markets being presented to manager is example of a marketing research. In this particular example, a manager has to see how to capture the new market. So he actually introduced the concept of marketing research in that. Rationale for marketing research. What is the purpose of marketing research and what effects is related to decision makers? It all comes down to the nature of decision and its context. Obviously, marketing is related with the decision and the context. Number first one is the importance of decision to manager in terms of amount of resources involved. You have to see how much resources you have, how much resources you want to involve. You can't actually waste the resources, and you have to see the potential negative and their consequences for the company. Both you have to see the positive aspect, also the negative aspect also, and the consequences of the company. You have to see how a decision is going to affect your company, whether it's a positive way or a negative way. Known routine nature of the decision, and hence the insufficient knowledge of its background and possible outcome. Your nature, you have to see, just like you want to purchase a plant, you want to purchase a new machinery, but you don't have any knowledge regarding new technology. So where do you tap marketing research to particular to purchase a new research, new machinery? Complexity of the decision determined by the number of variables under manager control, as well as those factors that are non-controllable. I have already told you there are two kind of environment. One is micro and other one is macro. Micro environment is basically, you can see, like for example, your employees are not doing work, so you have to see the solution for that particular problem. This is a micro problem. And macro, some law change, you have to adapt according to that particular law. Definition of marketing: the marketing is basically concerned with, it is a function that links the consumer, customer, and public to the marketing through information. Marketing research is basically what? Which link consumer, customer, and public with the information. Information used to identify and define marketing opportunities and problems, generate, refine, and evaluate marketing action, monitoring marketing performance, and improve understanding of marketing as a process. Is itself a very important question. What is marketing research process? I will do in the next lecture, but for right now you have to consider this. It is basically where you have to see what marketing opportunities are there, what problems you have to going through with that particular marketing opportunity, what you can generate, refine, and evaluate your marketing actions, how a marketing performance is going to give you any result that is particularly positive or negative, and how you are going to improve the marketing as a process. Marketing research specify the information required to address those issues, designs a method for collecting information. Basically, you actually seek a problem in here. You collect your data through marketing, that is primary data or source, secondary data. You implement your particular data collection through data collection process. You analyze the result and you communicate the findings with their implications. According to European Society for Opinion and Marketing Research, a global, this is a global membership company which has actually research, fame, and practitioners who actually perform research for the marketing purposes. Marketing research that includes social and opinion research is the systematic gathering and interpretation of information about individuals or an organization using the statistical and analytical methods and technique of applied sciences to gain insight and support decision making. I have already told you this thing. In further lectures, we will do SPSS, the statistical software, in which I will tell you how you can see your data, whether it is primary data or secondary data, how you are going to actually incorporate techniques to your these data. That is a function of marketing research. How do you actually interpret that data? That is includes in the process of marketing research. The identifier respondent will not be revealed to the user of the information without explicit consent. You have to take the consent of your respondents. You cannot reveal their identity. That is actually not ethical. You have to see what they want without showing their name, without showing their insights. And no sale approach will be made to them as direct result of their having provided information. You can't bargain with them. You can't bribe them also. So marketing research starts by stating the problem or the issue to be investigated, indicated what kind of information is required to resolve the problem, identify where and how to get it, specify the methodology for analyzing the research findings, sum up the research findings, and to suggest best solution for the marketing decision making. Scope of your marketing research. Marketing research basically consider product management, competitive intelligence, pre-launch of your new product, test market, concept marking. Let's go it with the detail now. What is product management? Product management is like you want to see why your product will be available in the market and how you are going to sell it. You have to see the activities related with your product, whether it is current or a new product. You have to see the whole management in this. Okay. So for that particular purpose, you need marketing research. That is, first one is competitive intelligence. When you actually want to see why your product is not selling in the market, you have to see the competitive activity. You have number of options for soaps. Palmolive is there, Lux is there. Yeah, for example, you can go for example of cool drink. You have Coca-Cola, you have Fanta, you have Thumbs Up, but still particular audience wants Thumbs Up. So basically, you have to see what is the competitive strategy for this purpose. You have to pre-launch strategy for new products, and in-depth analysis of target market should be do so that what a consumer want वो पता चल जाए and you will lead to consumer satisfaction. There must be test marketing. You specifically have seen also there are available of samples. What is that? That is test market. You want to monitor the performance of the brand by launching in a selected area. Then you see how they respond to your particular product. It is a very small scale product launch for a particular area like 20, 30, 40, 50 people. If they accept the product, then you will go with the product. If they say there is some problem in the product, you actually recognize a particular problem, improve it, then you go with that particular product. Concept testing, in which you test the acceptance level of a target customer. Concept testing is defined as a research method that involves asking consumer basic question about the concept, how the product is, how they like it, is there is okay, before actually launching your product. The next one is sales analysis. The next aspect is, the first one is product management. The next is sales analysis. In particular, sales analysis, you see how to assess market potential. You want to introduce a new product. You have to see what market you want to see, what market you have to capture. The next one is there any particular demand for a product? Let's see, you went to um, coastal area. There will be no requirement of wool products, so you have to see where which product demand is there. Then you have to see market share estimation. Already how much competition is available in that particular product. You have to see the seasonal variation of the product. You have to see market segmentation study. What is market segmentation? Market segmentation is basically like you segmented your market in two era. This is what old people want. This is what young people want. This is market segmentation. The requirement of your old people is different as per requirement of the young people. This is called market segmentation, where do segmented your market. For child you need something else, for young you need something else, for old you need something else. This is market segmentation. Estimate the size of market. You have to see how much market you have. Need analysis to find out where the product fits in. You again, the mantra is same, survival of the fittest. You have to go to the particular deep analysis for that. Corporate research. For the corporate effectiveness, you have to follow the corporate research. That is, the image of the company should be assessed and should be promoted. Brand is there. The brand knowledge of the customer should be enhanced. Knowledge of the company activities, whether your company is achieving the thing as per the set focused or not. You have to see. Company has to seek each and every knowledge of their internal flow. The next one is advertising research. Advertising is basically ऐसा area है जहाँ पे you have to say promote your product. Say communication, one way communication where a company actually promoted their product. Why my product is important, and you have to consider two things in which also, that is readership feedback, mainly carried out for newspaper and magazines, and other one is advertising recall, to assess the recall of television or other advertising, thereby assess its effectiveness. In today's scenario, we have different medium of advertisement, like internet is there, TV, newspaper, magazines, and if you see any YouTube video, you have actually seen After some time, there come a pop-up ad. Then after some time, again come a pop-up ad. And ad is actually same in 2 or 3 manners, so that it is basically recalled to you. The next is syndicate research. Syndicate research is conducted in the market to comprise the following functions. The first one is to update their knowledge based on key industry on which they specialize or wish to specialize a particular, and they say it's a glass industry, so people manufacture only glasses. If it is cement industry, it will be go through only cement. So they have to update their knowledge as per their specialization. To utilize human resources during slack period, like as COVID era था यहाँ पे. So still human resources को आपने, how do you want to utilize it? You have to see it. To improve the visibility of their company by using syndicate research as means to get publicity, also to show off the skill of the company. You want to promote your company, to update industry attacker databases provided to clients on subscription. You have to actually see that particular syndicate research. There are major reasons why a market research company invests its funds and time in conducting a syndicate research without any assurance of recovery its cost. That you have to see कि कौन से ऐसे area that is available where you can see syndicate research. What does marketing concept deal with? Consumer choice or company choice? 19% participated, only 20 now. We have 30 participants. सब करो भी पार्टिसिपेंट, सब पार्टिसिपेट करो. %82 participation is there. Out of 29, only 24% participated. Let me show the result to you now. Only one of you have said it is a company choice. It is not a company choice, it's a customer choice, it is a consumer choice. I have already stated to you, let the customer be the king. Next code. What does the caveat emptor means? Let the buyer beware or let the seller beware. What does this caveat emptor means? See your results. I'm not going to answer it right now. Let me see the other poll also now. Let me launch the other poll for you. What does caveat vendor mean? Let the buyer beware or let the seller beware? See, those who have answered let the seller beware is the corrected one. Even in last, some of you answered let the seller beware. But when it's stated for caveat vendor, let the seller beware is the correct answer. When it is caveat entered, let the buyer beware is the correct answer. Next poll. Is marketing and selling same? These are different. These are not same. So those 7 who have answered the marketing selling are same, they are wrong. Marketing and selling are not same. These are different concepts.